CDL Practice Test, Florida, General Knowledge, Part 7. Question number 153. What is the purpose of blocking and bracing? A. To prevent cargo from interfering with brakes. B. To ensure that the cargo is evenly distributed. C. To make more room for storage in your vehicle. D. To prevent sliding movement of the cargo. The correct answer is here, D. To prevent sliding movement of the cargo. Explanation. The purpose of blocking and bracing is to prevent the sliding or movement of cargo. Blocking is used to tightly fit cargo, whereas bracing runs from the top of the cargo to the floor, or to the wall. Question number 154. Which of the following may be a sign of tire failure? A. Vehicle thumping or vibrating. B. Vehicle fishtailing. C. Both of the above. The correct answer is here, C. Both of the above. Explanation. The classic sign of a tire blowout is a loud bang sound. However, if you're driving a long vehicle and a rear tire blows out, you may not hear the sound. In this situation, a thumping or heavy vibration may be the first sign you get that a rear tire has failed. Also, your vehicle may start to fishtail. On the other hand, heavy steering probably indicates that a front tire has failed. Question number 155. What is a pull-up? A. Pulling forward while backing a trailer to reposition it. B. A maneuver performed by a tow truck to pick up an overturned truck. C. When pulling off the shoulder, pulling up until the trailer is straight. The correct answer is here, A. Pulling forward while backing a trailer to reposition it. Explanation. When backing a vehicle, especially a tractor trailer, you may need to pull forward to straighten the vehicle or reposition it for a better angle. This corrective maneuver is called a pull-up. Note, however, that you should be able to back your vehicle successfully without too many such corrections. During your CDL skills test, your examiner may penalize you for too many pull-ups. Question number 156. To prevent a load from shifting, there should be at least one tie down for every feet of cargo. A. 7. B. 10. C. 15. The correct answer is here, B. 10. Explanation. The rule is one tie down for every 10 feet of cargo, but at least two tie downs regardless of how small the cargo is. Question number 157. Which of these is not a sign of an impaired driver? A. Having a window wide open in cold conditions. B. Stopping at a green light for no reason. C. Weaving across the road. D. Paying attention to a mobile phone. The correct answer is here, D. Paying attention to a mobile phone. Explanation. A distracted driver is someone who is engaging in an activity that shifts their focus away from driving, whereas an impaired driver is someone under the influence of alcohol or drugs. If a driver is paying attention to their mobile phone, they are classed as a distracted driver. Some of the many signs of an impaired driver are stopping at a green light for no reason, weaving across the road, or having a window open in cold conditions. Question number 158. When a helper is assisting you with backing, what is the most important hand signal to agree upon? A. Go forward. B. Stop. C. Keep backing. D. Turn left. The correct answer is here. B. Stop. Explanation. It is essential that your helper can get you to stop quickly for any problems. Agree on a clear hand signal for this command before starting. Question number 159. You are driving a new truck with a manual transmission to take a long, steep downhill grade. A. Use the same gear you would use to climb the hill. B. Shift into neutral and coast. C. Use a lower gear than you would use to climb the hill. The correct answer is here. C. Use a lower gear than you would use to climb the hill. Explanation. With older trucks, you typically use the same gear for driving uphill and driving downhill. Today's trucks tend to have more powerful engines and be more efficient than older trucks. Hence, you can drive such a truck uphill in higher gears than you would use to drive downhill with engine braking. Question number 160. In your mirror, you see a car approaching from the rear. The next time you check your mirror, you don't see the car to change lanes. You should A. Wait until you are sure the car isn't in your blind spot. B. Ease into the other lane slowly so the other car can get out of the way. C. Assume the car left the roadway and change lanes as usual. The correct answer is here. A. Wait until you are sure the car isn't in your blind spot. Explanation. Before you change lanes, you must first make sure that no vehicles are hiding in your blind spots. Question number 161. All of the following behaviors are signs of aggressive driving except A. Purposely blocking another vehicle from changing lanes. B. Purposely straddling two lanes of traffic. C. Frequent changes of speed. The correct answer is here. C. Frequent changes of speed. Explanation. Aggressive driving is driving in a selfish or pushy manner, which is dangerous enough. Road rage is even worse. Intentionally driving to harm someone or physically assaulting someone in his or her vehicle. Examples of aggressive driving include tailgating, purposely straddling two lanes of traffic, purposely blocking another vehicle from changing lanes, and honking the horn to express annoyance, anger, or frustration. Examples of road rage include deliberately ramming another vehicle and exiting one's vehicle to directly confront another driver. However, there are legitimate situations in which a motorist may need to change speeds frequently, such as in heavy traffic or on winding roads. Question number 162. Regarding fire safety, which of the following is the correct list of items you should check during your pre-trip inspection? A. Cargo, fuel, electrical, exhaust systems. B. Fuel and fire extinguisher. C. Tires, cargo, fuel, steering wheel, electrical, exhaust systems, fire extinguisher. D. Tires, cargo, fuel, electrical, exhaust systems, fire extinguisher. The correct answer is here. D. Tires, cargo, fuel, electrical, exhaust systems, Fire extinguisher. Explanation. Tires, cargo, fuel, the electrical system, and exhaust systems are all causes of fires. To avoid a fire, you should inspect them before the trip and ensure your fire extinguisher is charged. Question number 163. Can federal inspectors inspect your truck or bus? A. Yes, but they will not place it out of service. B. No. C. Yes, and they might place it out of service. The correct answer is here, C. Yes, and they might place it out of service. Explanation. Federal or state inspectors may inspect your vehicle. If they find a problem that makes the vehicle potentially unsafe, they will put the vehicle out of service until the problem is fixed. Question number 164. If a straight vehicle, no trailer or articulation, goes into a front wheel skid, it will A. Go to the right, B. Slide sideways and spin out, C. Go straight ahead even if the steering wheel is turned. The correct answer is here, C. Go straight ahead even if the steering wheel is turned. Explanation. In a front wheel skid, the front end tends to go in a straight line regardless of how much you turn the steering wheel. Question number 165. Which of these is not a danger when an automatic transmission is forced into a lower gear at a high speed? A. Damage to the transmission. B. Loss of engine braking effect. C. Loss of steering control. The correct answer is here, C. Loss of steering control. Explanation. When you're about to start down a steep downgrade, release the gas pedal, shift into a low gear, and use engine braking to slow your vehicle. Don't try to downshift after your speed has already built up. You will not be able to shift into a lower gear then. You may not even be able to get back into any gear and all engine braking effect will be lost. If you try to downshift an automatic transmission after your speed has already built up, you may damage the transmission. Question number 166. Which of the following statements is true? A. Most hazards are more easily seen at night than during the day. B. Many heavy vehicle accidents occur between midnight and 6 a.m. C. Most people are more alert at night than during the day. The correct answer is here, B. Many heavy vehicle accidents occur between midnight and 6 a.m. Explanation. Truck accidents are more likely to occur in the mid-afternoon or between midnight and 6 a.m. times when drivers are naturally drowsy. Question number 167. Why should you cover cargo? A. To protect your cargo from bad weather. B. To protect individuals from any spilled cargo. C. Because many states require it. D. All of the answers. The correct answer is here, D. All of the answers. Explanation. There are quite a few reasons to cover your cargo, including protecting other people and the cargo itself. In addition, it will help you stay on the right side of the regulations in several states. Question number 168. Empty trucks have the best braking distance. A. False. B. Can't tell without more information about vehicle. C. True. D. Can't tell without more information about cargo. The correct answers here. A. False. Explanation. Trucks are designed to work their best when they are fully loaded, despite the strain this might put on the brakes. As a result, an empty vehicle would require greater braking distance and would not have the best braking distance. Question number 169. What is the first step of proper braking technique when going down a steep downgrade? A. Release the brakes. B. Put the engine in the proper low gear. C. Accelerate. D. Release the clutch. The correct answers here. B. Put the engine in the proper low gear. Explanation. Before you even apply the brakes, you want to make sure that you are in the proper low gear to start the downgrade, since you may be unable to change after you start your descent and will be busy applying then easing off then applying the brakes. Question number 170. Name 2 situations in which the legal maximum weight may not be safe to haul. A. At night, in heavy traffic. B. Through tunnels, over bridges. C. During bad weather, in mountains. The correct answers here. C. During bad weather, in mountains. Explanation. A heavily loaded vehicle will have a longer stopping distance, and its speed will be harder to control on downgrades. Therefore, when you must travel in bad weather or in the mountains, consider keeping the load significantly below the maximum legal weight limit. Question number 171. Cargo inspections. A. Not the responsibility of the driver. B. Are only needed if hazardous materials are being hauled. C. Should be performed after every break you take while driving. The correct answers here. C. Should be performed after every break you take while driving. Explanation. Recheck the cargo and securing devices as often as necessary during a trip to keep the load secure. You need to inspect again after you have driven for 3 hours or 150 miles, and after every break you take during driving. Question number 172. You are driving in the right lane of a 4-lane, undivided road. Traffic is heavy. You come around a curve and then you notice a hazard ahead in your lane. You don't have enough room to stop. What should you do? A. Steer into the left lane. B. Brake hard and brace for collision. C. Steer to the right. The correct answers here. C. Steer to the right. Explanation. If you are approaching a hazard and are unable to stop in time, the safest maneuver is usually to bypass it on the right, even if it means moving onto the shoulder. If you steer to the left in heavy traffic, you could collide with another vehicle or force it into oncoming traffic. Question number 174. The distance your vehicle travels from the time your eyes see a hazard to the time your brain recognizes it is called distance. A. Reaction. B. Braking. C. Perception. The correct answers here. C. Perception. Explanation. The distance that your vehicle travels from when your eyes see a hazard to when your brain finally recognizes it as a hazard is called the perception distance. Question number 175. Too much weight on the steering axle can cause the following. A. Hard steering. B. Damage to the steering axle. C. Damage to the tires. D. All answers are correct. The correct answers here. D. All answers are correct. Explanation. Poor weight balance can make vehicle handling unsafe. Too much weight on the steering axle can cause hard steering. It can damage the steering axle and tires. Question number 176. If you have a hazardous fire, you should A. Use dirt to put it out. B. Use the fire extinguisher. C. Call the proper authorities. The correct answers here. C. Call the proper authorities. Explanation. When you discover a fire, call for help. You may use the fire extinguisher to keep minor truck fires from spreading to cargo before firefighters arrive. Question number 177. What is the minimum tread depth for tires other than front tires? A. 4/32 inch. B. 3/32 inch. C. 2/32 inch. The correct answers here. C. 2/32 inch. Explanation. Steering axle tires must have a tread depth of at least 4/32 inch. All other tires must have a tread depth of at least 2/32 inch. Question number 178. It takes the body about hours to get rid of the alcohol in 4 drinks. A. 6. B. 4. C. 2. The correct answers here. B. 4. Explanation. The liver processes about 1/3 of an ounce of alcohol per hour, which is equivalent to at most 1 drink per hour.